very good. Okay, very good.
Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Monday, November 16th, 2020, and it was a pretty eventful weekend. Guys, did you see Matt Gaetz, the congressman from Florida? He got mad at Barstool News Network. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, called us trash.
Yeah.
Said
The guy with the fake son? Yeah, the guy that's horny called us sexist and misogynist for telling him he was too horny for posting, I don't know, like 13 pictures of women in red dresses where he was like, "Oh yeah."
Dog tongue emojis. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Look at this guy.
This is the horned up guy that essentially claimed to have his fake son Nestor so that he could
Horn
not
on his
be...
mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and he's also just horny all over the place. He called BNN trash for being womanizers, for suggesting that he's horny all the time.
Yeah.
And then Mark, we all had evidence. Mark replied with the thing he did of Tiffany Trump, with like nothing but emojis. Obviously, a horny tweet.
Oh, yeah.
He was laying down on a couch with Kim Guilfoyle. Obviously, another horny move. Just lots of evidence of him being. I think, though,
weird for him to respond to that, right? The tweet was like, "Why is Matt Gaetz so horny?" With evidence of him being horny, and then he just lost his mind.
Right.
Not something you do unless you kind of are admitting how horny you are.
Oh, such a horny move.
Yeah.
Also, something that you do if you had us on your mind, which brings me to my conspiracy theory. Is Matt Gaetz Macho Man 69? Because connecting the dots. Remember the very in-depth negative review from Friday. Macho Man 69 seems like a fat shamer because he was saying how fat we are. Matt Gaetz recently got unfat. So it's a big time move of a recently skinny guy to then turn around and fat shame the people who are still fat.
Also, a big time move of a recently skinny guy to just horn all over everything and want to bang it all the stuff he couldn't touch.
Yeah.
Now he's got hands.
All the stars are aligning. I think that, Macho Man 69 sounded like a conservative perspective to me. Regardless.
He's got to be front runner to be. He's our only suspect right now.
Yeah. When I lose weight, I absolutely start making fun of fat people. Like Pat, who like gives me shit for being fat, is my first target when I'm underneath.
As
Pat
soon
in
as you're
pounds.
lighter
Yeah.
than Pat.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Except
Wes
I haven't
is a
been
huge
fat
fat
my
shamer.
entire life.
Wes is a huge fat shamer.
Well,
You're
you're
saying
better
you've
than
never
me now,
been fat?
fatty.
No, not as fat as Wes. Wes has been a fat kid his whole life.
That's very true, which is why I go to it when you're fatter than me, which you are now.
Yeah, but we could do it side by side, and people.
I never
be like,
fat
"Oh,
shamed
Wes
my
is
entire
fatter."
life, and I had a
Well,
six-pack for
maybe
a
from the
decade,
waist up.
and you guys are all over me. Will and Wes, did I ever fat shame you growing up when I was in very good shape?
Nope, never.
No, but I get shit on. So thanks, Pat and Wes.
Oh, whatever, bro. You literally hung your entire prowess on your athleticism.
Look, all of this.
Yeah, which you
And
don't
then used
seem
it
to
against me.
which you don't
Guys,
seem to
guys,
recognize.
We're losing focus here. This is about Matt Gaetz. This is about Matt Gaetz fat
I was the
shaming
king
us.
back then in high
All right.
school.
Exactly where I wanted
yeah,
it to go.
You're
I
just
was the king.
You're peaking now because you're the best at everything, right, Pat?
I was a varsity soccer king.
I am the most popular man on earth. I am Pat Cassidy.
Was the
Now
king.
let me name drop 5 names for you. We have intern Patricia
On their
here.
knees, they were.
Jeez, you must have had a tough weekend, Pat. You're
I've
being
got
a
to
real
say, you guys-
cocksucker.
Work like a
today.
charm.
Yeah, go
You
ahead,
guys
Patricia.
pick a fight with Matt Gaetz the day after I call his office and very nicely ask for an interview with him.
Oh,
And then
Well-
I get a notification on my phone, and then I have to send another follow-up email and be like, haha, you saw that?
Yeah.
Do you think you still want to come on? What
Well,
what a perfect.
Technically,
storm.
yes, that is funny timing, but technically, no one on this stream started that. No one.
right.
started
Matt
that.
Gaetz
It was
just
I
got
was
caught by the
first one to
BNN
tweet
team
that
being
Matt Gaetz
horny.
was horny
So,
thing from the Hard Factor account.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true. Patricia, you tipped us off. You've heard. You're now in D.C. And so, guys, anyways, regardless of whether Matt Gaetz is Macho Man 69 or not, he probably is. Thank you for all the attention. I would just say that before we move on. And please come on the pod like Patricia asked.
Also,
Macho Man 69.
yeah.
Patricia, I wouldn't sweat it too much because he picked a fight specifically for attention, and I bet you'll get a call back from his comms people.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
why
he
doesn't
should
he-
come on and settle it. He's horny. We're horny. Takes one to know one. Let's.
We're not saying we're not horny. Like, why is
bury
this
the
guy so?
hatchet.
Why is
There's
he so
nothing wrong
upset?
with being horned up.
I think his feelings were a little hurt. I think he's a fan, and I think maybe his feelings.
That's what
got a
I'm
little
saying.
hurt.
I think we jilted him, and he's now he's he's all over us on all fronts.
Not a fan. If he was a fan, he would have laughed it off and said, I am
I think we
really
burned.
horny.
Or gotten back to Patricia.
Unfunny thing.
Yeah, about the
Yeah.
interview.
Did you tell him you were a lady, Patricia?
I've met Matt before. He knows I'm a lady.
Do you have a red dress, Patricia? Because you will certainly get us.
I'm in my closet. I'm looking at like 4.
Yeah.
That does seem to catch his eye. All right, but Patricia is joining us today because you were lucky enough to join or attend the Million MAGA March in D.C. on Saturday over this last weekend. An event you sent us pictures from. Thank you very much, Patricia. Nice job taking pictures there. There was hundreds of thousands of attendees from all over the country, mostly like pretty tame pictures is what you sent us. It was mostly like people with like voting signs. So there was a person with a sign that said Marxist steal votes, which is nice.
There was the sign of when the revolution comes, the Indians and blacks go first. Welcome to the New World Order.
Oh, whoa.
That the Fox News anchor literally stopped what he was doing when he saw the camera feed of that sign. But there were,
These ones were from Patricia's own feed. The next one was just Biden. It was a Biden like acrostic poem saying he was the biggest idiot Democrats had ever nominated. Patricia, what was the experience like being there on the ground?
That one's kind of.
There were
funny.
a lot of cigarettes.
Okay.
There was just cigarette smoke everywhere. There were very few masks. People were just ripping cigs, maskless. There were a lot of people in like bulletproof vests walking around in groups, like they were protected.
Okay.
It was scary a little bit because I was like, why are all these people like in like souped up gear? I didn't see a lot of like the Antifa people. There weren't a lot of them during the day. And then I guess they like showed up at night. I was there for like 3 hours. It was like fine. There was like some sketchy like alt-righters having their little thing like off to the side.
And that's the vested up people, right? I'm assuming they stuck around for the late night festivities.
No, the alt-righty people are like kind of young and a little bonkers. So they had their own thing going on. And then there were a lot of like middle-aged to older men in like military gear or like old military gear. Like what your like uncle has left over from Vietnam. That's what they were wearing.
Rocking those.
Outside of cigs, did you see a lot of like? Was there a lot of alcohol, like flasks or anything going on, or no?
No, just a lot of. There were quite a few odd ducks. I was like right at the front where the speakers were, though. So I think I was by the really dedicated people. There were like quite a few babies too, like a lot of kids just around. It seemed kind of like a family
fun
event.
Atmosphere for
That's
a
smart.
child. Yeah.
Yeah, I've driven past a couple of these protests done by the right, and they look like they're just ready to guard whatever it is you tell them to guard at a moment's notice. That's
like a security team, like a mall security team.
That's
So what was it? What was it to What was the rally for, Patricia? I guess that's my one question. I can't. Here's a quote that Craig Johnson from Florida gave to the Guardian. He said, "I haven't slept much since the election because I'm sad that Donald Trump is not our president. He's going to be our president, though." So Craig has no fucking idea who won the election. Is that what the rally was over? I mean, is it people protesting, the media calling it for Biden? What is the main point of the march?
From everybody I talked to there and all the signs, people are protesting what they perceive to be the stolen election and the media. And the media gave the march like little to no attention, but I think that it'll get a lot of attention because I would imagine how DC politics is, that the mayor is going to blame the uptick in COVID cases in the coming weeks, like probably on the march, because it was like a huge gathering.
Well, 2 weekends in a row. They had the Biden celebration one weekend, now the march the next week. I mean, it's going to be COVID City, obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, we'll get to some COVID stuff in the next story.
Okay, well, so that was the purpose, and Patricia, like you said, when you were watching it, pretty tame, no kind of violence. By Saturday evening, after you left, it devolved into Antifa or whatever you want to call the counter protesting group, showing up and like tossing fireworks and offering to fist fight any straggling Trump Million MAGA marchers. I think we got a video. Bubba, if we could play that from the scene from the nighttime, basically.
People are dying. Now you are dying.
Oh my God.
So that's an M80 that counter protesters showed up and tossed at some Trump supporters who were eating on a patio. Basically, I mean, it was like,
were they
it
Trump
was like
supporters
Proud Boys
or just people eating?
They were probably just people eating on a
Could have been
patio.
They're just
random
old
people.
people eating.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, whatever. Anybody who was out, basically, if you
that-
were out at night,
Right.
there was people from both sides dressed up in lacrosse pads, ready to fucking fist fight you.
No good times.
Those people that threw the M80, like the Antifa crowd, there was chanting, "While you're dining, people are dying," and they were all there was like so many more of them than the diners, and they were so much closer together
20.
than the diners, and they're spitting through megaphones. Like they clearly don't care about COVID because they're out there spreading it, but they're claiming that's why they're throwing M80s at people.
It was a mess.
It ain't Corona.
It was
No,
a mess.
They're not out there because of Corona. They're out there because they saw people in Trump gear and they
They
wanted
want to
fuck with
fight.
them.
They
Yeah.
want to fight. People want to fight. Patricia, did you see any of that bullshit, or are you gone before all that happened?
I heard a lot of tough talk by the people I was standing near. Like, oh man, if those police weren't here, like we'd fuck them up. And there were a lot of like middle finger offs between the left side protesting and between the MAGA protesters, and there were like a bunch of cops. So people would just be like, F you, and it was the most cringy thing I've seen in a bit. Like, it was so awkward. I couldn't get a good video of it, but I just think at night people felt safer to like fuck with one another. I would never. I mean, just in DC on the everyday, I'm a Trumpy, kind of a Trumpy person. I would say, like, I like the president, whatever. That's like pretty open if you follow me on social media. I would never wear MAGA gear in Washington DC because I don't want the risk of like
You
someone
don't want somebody
trying to fuck
squaring
me
up
up.
to you. Yeah.
Yeah, like, that's just
like
not
wearing
something-
like a sports
Yeah.
analogy. That's like wearing like whatever team is playing against West Virginia in Morgantown. You
Right,
don't
Morgantown.
Yeah,
want-
don't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't put
So people
don't put
by
a
wearing
bumper
stuff-
sticker in your car either.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you, unfortunately, it makes you kind of a sitting duck, especially when there's so many of these people out at night. Just like, yeah, and the police.
The nighttime was ridiculous.
Cover of darkness, baby. That's when they come out and play.
Antifa come out at night. Antifa
Yeah, and the
come
police
out
could
at
be
night.
everywhere in the city.
So shout out to Julio
Literally.
Rosas, who got that video that we just played. We've had Julio on the show before. He got some good coverage that night. The final tally, Patricia, like you were just talking, the DC police did a pretty good job. There was only one stabbing and 20 arrests out of like
Not
you know,
bad.
hundreds of thousands of people there. Really not that bad, which isn't even like Reno Santa pub crawl numbers. So
Yeah,
actually,
it's not bad.
maybe
Yeah,
maybe we just saw the worst shit actually on social media, and in the end, like the DC police did a pretty good job. They actually got both the firecracker guy and the sucker punch guy, but the Proud Boy turned out actually started it before he got sucker punched on that other
that
viral
guy,
video.
the short video
So-
where he gets knocked out is absolutely disgusting, and it still is. But he definitely like stomped on some dude's head and like pushed 8 guys and like threw a couple punches right up before that.
Yeah, I think Patricia, thank you for joining and giving us your take from the ground. But I think my take after watching all that bullshit on social media all weekend was just everybody who's like hyped up to fight people, fellow Americans in the street in your lacrosse gear or whatever, your hockey pads, just fuck off. Just knock it the fuck off. Just stop.
Yeah,
You know?
if you're wearing a bulletproof vest out to a rally, take a thought about that, right? Like, as well, like
You're just
all of
going
these
out in the
guys.
street for battle. Just calm the
Yeah.
fuck down.
Yeah,
Why are you doing
either you shouldn't be at the rally because you need to wear a vest to be there, which is just stay home, or, well, just what Mark said, really, just
Yeah, think about it.
chill out.
When
cool
you're
it off,
when you're
everybody.
slapping on that bulletproof vest, think about it.
Like, what am I doing? Why did I buy this vest?
Yeah, you're just pounding your fists, just getting ready.
Was it, to dress up like 50 Cent for Halloween? If so, leave it there.
Everyone, both ugly and ugliness on both sides. Gross.
Thank you, Patricia.
Thanks,
for-
Patricia.
for coming and giving us the inside look.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, do
moving along.
you guys want to do the obligatory Monday COVID update?
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's still here, guys, and it's not going anywhere. We heard the vaccine will be readily available in April, I guess, except for in New York State, according to Trump, because Cuomo said he would never take a vaccine from the Trump administration, so he won't be sending the vaccine to the entire state of New York.
Oh,
I
which
think he-
which then they're upset about now, right?
Right.
Okay.
Because Cuomo said he'd never take a vaccine, and Trump said, "Well, we won't give you one because you won't take one." And we found out that
Productive.
Pfizer's shit won't be like readily available, like to the overwhelming population until at least April. So that kind of sucks. Also, I don't know how Trump's going to
But
withhold
the good
it to New
news
York
about
State
that
if
was
he's
December was like some people. If you know how to get on the inside list, some people are going to start getting the Pfizer in December.
Well, Pfizer's producing it before they asked for the emergency authorization. I'm sure they ran the numbers, whatever the numbers are, and it's still worthwhile.
That really need it. Yeah, for people that really need it, you'll get it before April.
How you get on that list? You know, the December.
You got to be an essential worker.
What's up with Cuomo and Trump? Like, why is Cuomo saying I would never accept the vaccine, and why is Trump saying okay,
it's
even
like
though
Pelosi
I'm probably not president, I won't give it to you?
They have this like horseplay love affair relationship. It's the same.
New York will get the vaccine as soon as it's available.
Right. He's also not going to be in office.
No, I think what Cuomo said is Cuomo said if the scientists say that it's acceptable, then I will take it. But if Trump says if it's just Trump, he's not going to take it, which I understand where he's coming from there. Because Trump is the same guy that said to inject bleach and said that he was joking and then tried to trump up hydroxychloroquine, who's got an investment in. So, yeah, I feel Cuomo.
Cuomo's made some bungles on the coronavirus, too, like not shutting down his state nearly
the worst
enough
death
time.
rate by a billion percent.
And writing
no one will ever catch up.
Yeah.
The
Anyway,
book is stupid.
Oh yeah. Anyway, what else happened besides the Pfizer vaccine not being available on a large scale basis until April? Oh, giant retailers like Walmart and Costco are beefing up their COVID protocols. It might be because we hit over 140,000 new cases in a day recently. So remember, we were like, we're over 100,000. Now we're approaching 150,000 a day.
Well, they got lockdowns coming
just
for a lot of places.
That's that's way too many cases in a day. But in Walmart's, I guess what they're going to do now is they're going to begin counting again how many people are in the stores and limiting the number of customers in at one time to like a 1-in, 1-out scenario, like you see it like a popular bar.
You guys remember the beginning when you had to wait in the lines outside the grocery store, outside in the circles?
It's like that again.
Yeah.
So I guess they're trying to keep their stores at 20% capacity. I don't know what that means, like 20% of whatever the fire marshal says is safe, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But what it means is lines are going to be brutal at Walmart's during the holiday season. So that's fun. Maybe shop online, right? Get your gifts online.
Yeah. Also, order those early because shipping is going to take forever.
Yeah, order those today. Why don't you get on that this week? At Costco, they are not even allowing customers with medical conditions like asthma or lung stuff to not wear a mask in their stores anymore. Everyone now must wear a mask or face shield, no exceptions. Also, pretty much all major retailers are limiting the amount of certain items, again, like water and toilet paper. You can only get, like a few of each, so plan accordingly. That's back. The only good thing about this with the retailers is we can expect some funny maskless people screaming at everyone in the store type videos that we like to laugh at and play. Hopefully they don't turn violent like the guy who shoots the guy who works at the store type stuff, and they just are more, someone that's in a rage mode and gets escorted out.
Just get shut down.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Those are the good ones.
I'll tell you what. I am really encouraged after I looked at the actual paper statistics of arrests and physical altercations at the MAGA March.
Yeah.
Because if you watch the coverage over the weekend, you would have thought it was the most violent thing ever. And then you go and you look and the numbers actually aren't that bad. So maybe people are just during lockdown, the craziest moments get amplified because everybody sees them. And
Twitter was
that's the news.
Pretty bleak on Friday night.
Right.
Okay. Lastly, for today's COVID update, the COVID test itself is now coming into question, specifically the rapid antigen test, as a pair of high-profile people expressed their frustration and concerns over their rapid test results. So Elon Musk, who has not been a big fan of taking COVID seriously since day one, has said he got 4 rapid COVID tests in a day, and 2 were negative and 2 were positive. So he said something extremely nefarious is going on, and it's bullshit.
Fake, obviously.
Yeah, he said he has no symptoms or like very mild symptoms, and he thinks he might have a mild case of COVID, but he's not happy about the accuracy of the test, thinks something's going on with it. And he was tweeting up a storm about COVID testing all weekend. He even tweeted a summary of all of his tweets, and he said, hey, worth reading this thread if you're curious about Rona testing. So after he tweeted all weekend about coronavirus testing, he then summed it up in a nice little box with a ribbon on top for us if you want to just click on that and scroll through his insanity. Yeah. Here's one more tweet from Elon on the coronavirus from March 19th of this year. He said, based on current trends, probably close to 0 new cases in U.S. too by the end of April. So he missed that by over a calendar year. But trust him on coronavirus stuff. He seems to be on the ball with coronavirus stuff.
He's been claiming it's fake the whole time. I forget the county. We covered the story, Alameda County, I think, California, where the Tesla factory in California is. He basically bullied them into letting him work through the shutdown.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he's just proving that robots can't get this type of virus, like infectious virus, because he's like, he's a robot. He's immune to this human virus, and he's not happy about it. He has his own bugs he has to deal with.
What's up,
I have a theory. I just got an alert from Fox News that was that the first commercial U.S. crewed SpaceX flight to the International Space Station is launching right now. Yeah, so watching the video of it launching, I think Elon was able to just go on a tear because he knew that at the end of the week he was able to just say "fuck you" to everyone. Look what I just did.
That's true.
Yeah. SpaceX has gotten him out of a few jams this year.
You launch a rocket, everything's forgiven. Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
Everybody's mesmerized now.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Don't give a fuck.
That is happening on Sunday night, that space launch. I'm surprised Elon hasn't claimed he can fix coronavirus yet. I guess he doesn't.
No, he did.
Take it
he
seriously.
Did. He was actually the very first to push hydroxychloroquine in the very beginning. Even
but I mean, like his
Trump.
own invention, like
right. He,
from
the
sort
whole
of
time
submarine generator.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah. He just doesn't care about it enough to try to fix it himself. Yeah. Lastly, Grammy-winning singer and person with great hair, Erykah Badu, revealed over the weekend that she too took the rapid antigen COVID test, and she said her left nostril tested positive and her right nostril tested negative, and she's pissed too because she has to take these a lot for her music career, and she's like, I know it's not 100% accurate, but how the fuck does one nostril test positive and the other test negatives? So there you go. Now the testing is being questioned, and it
false
seems
positives.
Seems
NFL
like its
style.
accuracy is suspect. So that's fun. That's great. That's a nice little update on COVID is that the rapid testing is being questioned and might not be super accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dangerous too, because if you go and you get a test and it comes back false positive, you quarantine and you go back out and you're like, I've already got it, I'm fine. Then you fucking get it for real.
Yep.
And you know,
or if you get a false negative and you go out and spread it.
So you just always say you got a false positive also. So
that's true.
Well,
false is bad.
That's what I'm going with.
Going around saying stuff.
I'm going with that.
Okay.
What I just said.
Buried treasure. If you guys are hard up for cash and in the tri-state area, may I recommend that you take a trip up to the Catskills to the town of Phoenicia, New York, to find the alleged buried treasure of Dutch Schultz, the beer baron of the Bronx, who was a prominent bootlegger in Prohibition-era times, who apparently buried $7 million worth of loot back in the day, back in 1933, which today would be worth like $150 million.
So he was a very successful bootlegger.
It's pretty good, right?
Did they have $500 bills back then? That'd be sweet.
Oh,
I don't.
Amazing to find.
They may have. Well, we should look. We should look into that because there were some larger denominations of currency back in the day.
Yeah, but it has to be like gold or something for it to be worth $150 million today. Otherwise, it would still be worth if it's just dollar bills, it'd still be worth the same. Right?
Bonds.
Oh, right. Okay.
Bonds, and gold.
well, dollar bills, yes, Wes, but
it would
coins,
look cool.
Old coins, like even if
That's
it's
what
like
I'm
a
saying.
5-cent coin, it's like made of copper instead of
True.
whatever.
Silver,
Yeah, the rarity of a $500 bill might make it valuable. Probably not, but yeah.
Sounds pretty good.
Bonds and gold and jewels. They had up there, guys. So check this out. Apparently, Dutch Schultz was about to go down for tax evasion, and he preemptively hid the treasure. But then he died just 2 years later, and it could have been from the gonorrhea, which was apparently an attack method of his. He would take gonorrhea, he would dip a rag in it, and then he would place that gonorrhea rag over defiant speakeasy owner's eyes as a torture method of choice.
Is that for real?
For real, that was one of his methods
How
of choice.
would he have gonorrhea in a bucket?
This was the 30s.
So he just would produce his own?
Everyone knew someone with gonorrhea in the 30s.
Call up a floozy.
Yeah. Just, hey, honey, shove this up your, okay.
Give me a bucket of that rhea.
Here's a coin and a bond.
You got gonorrhea in your eyes now, you idiot.
Yeah, apparently he blinded one pub owner. He would strong arm them into carrying his beer, which apparently was terrible. And then one guy was like, "Nope, not carrying your beer, sonny." So they strung him up by his thumbs and placed a gonorrhea rag over his eyes, and it blinded him.
Yeah, well, he carried his beer after that.
There you go. $500 bill was discontinued in 1969, but last printed in 1945. Very cool. Very cool fact,
So
Bubba.
Schultz definitely
So they could have had some $500 bills in there.
You never know, guys. Anyway, there's a PBS special airing with two Canadian dopes named Steve Zazulk and Ryan Fazix, who called themselves, quote, professional treasure hunters. and they're going to be looking for the treasure on this PBS special, which airs next week. Spoiler alert, not having seen anything about the special or knowing anything about it, they didn't find it. They don't find it. Just quick spoiler. It doesn't happen. It's kind of like every Tomb documentary.
Yeah.
And,
Bigfoot.
other aliens, Bigfoot, all that
Maybe
crap.
season 2.
It's out there for us to find, boys.
Yeah. Professional treasure hunters. Like, come on.
Well,
like,
Wes is going to go into the metal detection game.
I was talking about it. I put in the request as for a Christmas present. I was talking about getting one. My girlfriend was like, "Christmas is right around the corner, idiot. Just let me get you one for Christmas." I was like, "Okay, I can wait till Christmas."
Hey, Wes, that's a great idea. However, we don't live near a beach. Can I throw a curveball at you?
Sure.
A small scuba set, because if you go up to like the rivers where we float in Texas, and you take scuba sets down there, bro, you will find all sorts of treasures.
I am a big fan of a couple YouTube channels of guys that scuba search for treasures in the waters.
You don't say. You don't say.
They find guns all the time and shit. It's crazy.
You don't say. Are you interested in going to New York now?
I will. I actually read up about this story a little bit, and they claim they're going to be using metal detectors.
You're already on the case.
They claim they're going to be using metal detectors to find it. It's probably in some basement somewhere.
Well,
you like buried it in the woods, but
what they said was that they knew some guy from the town who has inside info because his grandfather was muscle for Dutch Schultz in some way, shape, or form.
He was the guy that threw the gonorrhea rag over your face.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, he didn't go find it himself. But now these Canadian treasure hunters with a PBS film crew are in, and he decides now it's time.
Yeah, I mean, you need to get up there, Wes. I'm glad you were already looking into it.
Wear some gloves, because there still might be some gonorrhea floating around in there.
I mean, if Barstool will send me, I'd love to do like a Caleb style video treasure hunting with these guys. I think it'd be fantastic.
But I was gonna say, aren't you the subject though? Because you're the nut job that wants to find it.
I would infiltrate the ring and then do it that way somehow. But yeah, I'm absolutely down. I love it. All right, cool.
We definitely wear gloves because we don't want you to be a gonorrhea.
Nice.
But
so,
all right, I will
keep that one.
I'll shoot an email to Erica, see if that make that happen. All right, moving on. Got a double theft story for you guys. First to Wisconsin, where a famous tree was cut down and stolen from the Arboretum at the University of Wisconsin. A 25-foot Algonquian pillar Swiss mountain pine, to be exact. It went missing somewhere. There's a picture of it cut down. Very exciting stuff. It went missing somewhere between November 5th and 9th, I believe. The tree was planted in 1988 along with a twin tree, and apparently it was brazen theft, as the tree was just 30 yards from a popular high-traffic street with joggers and vehicles and stuff. The vandals also cut off a 12-foot section of the top of a white fir tree near there that was planted in 1981, but left it on the ground. So definitely a chainsaw was used in the middle of the night, and then university officials are claiming these trees are worth at least $13,000 altogether.
Let's go steal some trees, boys.
They're not worth $13,000. This is what they're going to tell insurance.
Christmas
no, that's true. Trees are expensive as fuck, man. And
these are like Christmas trees.
Really?
These are just nice Christmas trees.
Was that the cause? Was that the motive? Or the people hanging these in their house?
For sure.
Well, so yeah, that's what the
Christmas heist.
Yeah, the Arboretum's Longnecker Horticultural Gardens curator David Stevens thinks someone stole the large Christmas trees for a larger Christmas tree display, and he's devastated. He says, quote, "It feels like someone broke into your house and stole something precious to you." So I don't know if he wants the dead tree back, but he just wants justice and is urging you to call University of Wisconsin Police if you have any information. Probably like could be like a Michigan fan.
It was Clark Griswold.
yeah, definitely. Hey, YouTube.com/Hard Factor News to see what Bubba's done to our frames here.
Yeah.
You guys, I don't know if you see the little like emoji little pictures he gave us.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Wes, I particularly like yours. You have a pit bull.
Oh, I didn't even notice that shit. Yeah. Amazing. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, Pat asked last week for a beaver, so I figured I would give everybody a little.
I like the little. I like them.
That's perfect.
I didn't know Will. I didn't know what your spirit animal was, so I went with an alien.
Aliens,
aliens,
UFOs,
yeah.
Nevada.
I was gonna do a robot, maybe with your face on it. I don't know.
Machine Lord.
I was thinking.
I was
thinking.
Robot probably is the. Yeah.
Workshopping it.
Yeah, it looks great, Bubba. What is the phone number to call?
512.
Oh.
270. What?
8.
Yeah, that's 1480. That's for voicemails. I mean, to prank the people looking for the tree thieves, because I want to record myself saying that I want to do a Clark Griswold gag.
Let the old man be. He's devastated.
Yeah.
All right.
Hang on, I can.
I was at a bar, and I got talking to Clark, and he was pretty excited about his new Christmas tree.
Yeah. They're really upset about it.
All right, fine. I'll leave it.
Yeah.
Well,
moving on to another case of theft.
Second.
Number 2 theft. Hang on, I was looking for the number. In Santa Cruz, California, a statue belonging to the Bigfoot Discovery Museum was found along the side of the road after police put out a APB to local residents about a stolen 4-foot Bigfoot. It was stolen from the museum dedicated to the mythical and fictitious creature and is desperately needed to attract crazy people who think Bigfoot might be real. Going on with what Pat was saying earlier.
What are you calling crazy, buddy?
I had a there's the picture of it. I had a buddy in production produce a few episodes of Finding Bigfoot, and when I asked him how it went, he cackled and said, "Oh, we got real close a few times, just slipped away at the last second again." So that's kind of how it works in that
Always
realm.
happens.
Always fun though.
It's like ghost hunting.
Right. They have a good time. Hey, they have a good time. Whatever floats your boat.
It's like a hobby. I mean, like it's essentially hiking with a little bit more purpose.
Yeah, and it's similar to treasure hunting. I mean, like you're not gonna probably find it, but there's always that hope. It's like having a scratch off that never ends. Like,
which is why Wes wants to get a metal detector.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a noble cause, yeah. And
awesome.
in Wes's case, just
it's
looking
like a
for,
real life
for
scratch
treasure.
off.
Yeah.
The
thing with Wes is though he believes it a little more than the average bear. He's pretty certain he's gonna find treasure. Like that's the thing. Is like
I'm certain I'm gonna win the lottery one day.
Yeah,
absolutely.
you're certain.
I'm definitely certain.
I like it. It's manifest destiny, bro. If you will it, you know what I mean?
That's right. I got the secret working with me.
That's true.
Do you think that you're less noble than ghost hunters? Because you're just looking for treasure out for yourself. Ghost hunters are trying to rid the world of evil spirits.
I think I'm more realistic.
Okay.
Says who, Will?
Well,
They're trying to rid the world. Says who?
Yeah, I don't know if they're all trying to rid the world. What if you had a team?
Some
You
of them
think
have-
they're bringing them in? You think
some of
they're
them wanna
trying to
fuck
bring
those
in
ghosts.
more evil spirits?
Some of them want to fuck the ghosts.
Oh, shit.
Some of them want closure.
Damn,
Well,
I guess
couldn't
Some of them want to trap the ghosts and use them as
I
weapons.
was being
man.
too trusting of
that's a good point.
of the ghost
They
people.
want to rid the world.
If you had a treasure hunting team though, wouldn't it be valuable to have a ghost hunter on your team in case?
Well, you'd want all, yeah. You'd
You
want.
need- some of these snenaries are like
we're
sunken,
gonna have to
sunken
get
ships that have
specialties, yeah.
haunted and shit.
In case
You
the
know?
ghost was guarding the treasure, someone would talk
Right.
to the ghost. Yeah,
Exactly.
Like One-Eyed Willie.
Yeah.
I'll try to. I'm gonna look up some ghost stuff. All right, let's move it along. We got another theft we have to talk about. This one also spooky. Comes to us from Kevin Nash in the interns in the Hardo Hive. It's about a man in Oklahoma City who is seeking to take the righteous path. Fellas, 41-year-old Curtis Bayless was just trying to do the godly thing by getting super high on methamphetamines and then robbing the house of a family who just moved to Oklahoma City at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday morning. You can see Curtis if you're watching the video. The terrified 16-year-old son threatened to beat Curtis with a baseball bat while Curtis was ramming his head into the screen glass door over and over again, while the mother screamed and pulled her family to run away across the street while the cops came to deal with Curtis, who was just banging his head against the door and eventually got inside the house.
Is Curtis 5'3" tall?
It looks like it from
He's about 5'5".
5'5", yeah, because he's bowing his head to show you the knot on his head from hitting his head on the door.
This guy looks like
a short guy.
Mark, he looks like if you threw a hat on him, he looks like the Valero guy that gives a shit.
Oh,
kinda.
yeah, a little bit.
You can see his forehead's busted open from where he was slamming his head.
Are you
against
talking about the
screen.
guy at My Valero that rides the bike to work?
No, the guy that was that talked shit to Mark, like made.
Oh,
he's
okay.
Yeah, he's always on one. That guy.
Yeah. Well, the Valero guy and Curtis was also on one. When the police arrived, remember the family absconded across the street to hide away from Curtis. Curtis was high as a kite inside the house, saying to the police that he was on a mission from God to save the world. Not sure how robbing the Sanchez's home was helping that. He was also
Well, you got to let it play out at that point.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Blues Brothers fan.
Just the start of his plan. He was also described as rolling around like a fish out of water in a green puffy jacket before and after he was cuffed. So just totally out of his mind.
He's trying to roll his way away from the cuffing. He's trying to wiggle his way out of it. It's pretty good.
Just wriggling around the floor. Curtis has been remanded to jail, and the Sanchez family seems confident that this is only a slight bump in the road on their path to making a new life in Oklahoma City, because, again, they had just moved into the neighborhood
Jesus
like a month
Christ.
or so ago.
Right into his path. Yeah, it's like zigzagging from an alligator. You confuse the cops when you just roll around like a fish out of water. They can't slap the cuffs on you. Try and cuff someone while they're rolling around.
Or try to get an erection. Right when the cops roll up, take your pants off and get an erection. They're going to think twice about trying to cuff you.
That's what that one guy did in the Florida story. He got an erection, he had the Crisco, and it was raining, and he was running down the streets with the full hard-on.
Jim, no one wants to tackle you, man.
No.
If there's video of this, I bet the people, like the executives at ADT, would pay top dollar for this to make it into like a commercial. Like,
yeah.
This
The
is
scene
gold
was
for them.
crazy. So, like, the guy, the son, the 16-year-old son notices him in the backyard, and then apparently Curtis locks eyes with them and just sprints for the screen glass door and starts banging his head to get in the house.
Wes,
ADT dream.
That's a really great point I've never thought about. And there might not be footage of this, but there's footage of other break-ins where no one gets seriously injured that ADT could easily buy and make.
It's lucky for Curtis that the mom pulled the 16-year-old away. He was sitting there with a baseball bat, like about to beat him up, and then smartly she pulled him out of the house. And they
Good Lord, what a
dealt
scene!
with it peacefully.
What a scene. All right, guys. First of all, let me lead off this story by saying MOT Leeds United. Now that we got that out of the way, and believe me, keep your eye on Leeds. They're about to go on a tear and shoot up the board there on
Arsenal's
EPL.
going down.
Yeah, it must be addressed as a lead into this story that there's a lot of faking injuries in soccer. There's a lot of diving and then rolling around like you're Curtis on the ground, like you got shot in the leg by a sniper from the stands instead of barely touched by the 150-pound midfielder with size 9 shoes. A lot of that goes on. So it came, as no surprise. There was an incident of faking an injury in Saturday's Brazilian Championship C Series match between Ferroviário CE and Jacuipense BA. It was a little surprising. It came from the goalie, one of the least likely people to fake an injury unless there was a sequence where the ball went in the back of the net, but goalies certainly fake it too, as is evidence of this story. And in this case, the goalkeeper of the Bahian team, Jordan, because they only go by like one name over there a lot of times, Jordan got some just desserts for laying on the ground and when he shouldn't have been. And it wasn't in the form of a yellow card that he got in trouble with. Sometimes you fake it, the ref gives you yellow. It was the earth that gave him his just desserts as thousands of red ants attacked him because he laid on an anthill.
Shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Surprise, you idiot. You laid on an anthill. And he got pretty injured there.
What country was that again?
In Brazil.
Brazil. Yeah, it makes sense. Texas, man. Playing rugby in Texas. Fire ant city. Lots of fire ant bites. But
Gotta be careful. I have so many hills in my backyard. Pat, don't you have ant hills in your new house?
Oh my God. When I came back, because I'm the killer of the ants in my house, and I guess Ian hadn't been taking care of it. When I came back, there was like
mounds.
40 of them.
Are you in Texas now?
Jesus.
I'm in New York right now. When I go back in a couple of days, it's gonna be.
What do you do? Do you use the hardcore dust, like the dust that you dust them and then water it? And
I kill them
crushes
one
the
by
mound?
one.
One by one.
Mound by mound?
So all
or-
day.
No,
Ant
ant
by
by
ant.
Ant by
ant.
ant.
Oh my!
With a
That's
Get
tweezer.
some molten
process.
aluminum over there and do like some cast. You can make some money.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have a ton of anthills too. We could do a series of it. But yeah, he was laying on an anthill and he ended up actually getting injured from that. It was a whole scene. They had to take him off the field, strip him down. There's a picture of him like getting stripped down on the sideline, and they had to give him like a bath on the sidelines. Like they put like a little privacy thing up and
You
and
guys
like,
been
showered
swarmed
him.
by fire ants before? It's horrible.
You
Oh, yeah,
have.
it's the worst.
There's a
so
picture-
many times. So many times. I've been swarmed by fire ants in states where they're not even supposed to have them. And then I got swarmed by them in Louisiana and Texas for years. playing
Remember in
rugby.
Virginia, we had like a water gun Nerf fight like after graduating high school.
The only
around
guy
that
who
time.
got swarmed by the
And-
ants.
And we were like drunk and covered in water, and then you were sitting down, and all of a sudden you're like, "Why did my balls hurt?" And it's because you were getting attacked by red ants. They're biting your testicles. Yeah,
I'm like a magnet for bugs, for ants, and also for spiders too. I've always had like weird spiders make webs close to where I sleep. I'm just like I'm a magnet. I don't know what I have, but I got something.
that's not good. So the goalie was off the field for like over 5 minutes. He then finally returned to do his job with a bunch of bumps on his body. He didn't allow any goals in, but his forwards didn't do him any favors as the match ended in a 0-0 draw. Tough day for that goalie. But you know what they say in sports: stay on your fucking feet.
There you go.
Nice. Wait, we sent Bubba the jersey that I initially ordered for Leeds. It looks
perfect.
It fits perfect.
Looks nice on Bubba.
That is slick.
Yeah, number one Hive.
Hive number one.
Shit.
Holy shit.
You're muted again,
You're on
Bubs.
mute. You're on mute, Bubba. But you look
Fuck
fantastic.
yeah! It's not as small as I thought. I think it's great. I love it. It fits
good.
perfectly. The hive on the back is clean.
My
Awesome.
cockiness is Bubba's gift. I ordered the large and couldn't.
And I'm kind of sad to hear that they're playing Arsenal this weekend, because the first time I picked up any sort of soccer team, it was to become an Arsenal fan.
Well, not anymore, Bubba. Don't
Yeah,
lose
I
me,
guess,
Bubba.
I guess I'm
You're cutting
not.
out.
Yeah.
You're cutting
No
out,
way.
Bubba.
Cutting out, Bubba.
You're cutting out, Bubba.
Yeah, cutting out.
Cutting out.
Sorry. Leeds podcast.
Looks good on you, Bubba.
Guys, Nancy Pelosi has called off a dinner for new Democratic members of Congress after a Twitter backlash from people who claimed the meal would flout COVID restrictions. This is on the same day that she described the pandemic as, quote, emergency of the highest magnitude. And a photo
I'll tell you more at my indoor dinner.
At my indoor dinner in a lavish dining room. A photo was posted of the dining room being prepared at the Capitol. The speaker's 80 years old, told an NBC reporter that it was safe and there was advanced ventilation for the meal, and a Capitol physician had signed off on it, which means no, that didn't happen.
Right.
Whenever you're in trouble, claim that something they can't prove had been done to prevent the issues that they're saying that you're going to cause, like advanced ventilation. Good luck proving that shit. Chelsea Clinton, guys, she was the one that kind of brought this backlash, tweeting, please cancel these in-person dinners at Speaker Pelosi and at Kevin O. McCarthy to keep everyone safe from COVID-19. Yourselves and new members, servers, the Capitol Police, and all their families and contacts, and to show public health leadership. So, guys, the big thing is Thanksgiving's canceled. It fucking sucks.
I don't know about where the states you're at, but they're telling us eat it outside, which is going to be snowing, probably. So nobody's going to eat it outside out here.
I'm seeing family at Christmas, but I'm just doing just the wife and I just overeating and over drinking. So that's fine. I'll be indoors for that.
There you go. Guys, Governor Gavin Newsom said Friday that he should not have attended a fancy dinner party honoring a top political advisor, which occurred during California's coronavirus surge. And just as the governor is trying to discourage households from gathering for the holidays, he gathered outside this month at the French Laundry to celebrate the 50th birthday of a lobbyist, Jason Kinney. And at first I agreed, but then when I heard that the dinner was at the French Laundry, I said, you go, Governor Newsom. Reservations at that place are impossible. It's a once-in-a-lifetime situation. It's the nicest restaurant in America.
Open, though, in California?
It's the nicest restaurant in America, and it was outside. I'm sorry, Gavin. You do you.
Is it the nicest restaurant?
Oh, I spent $200 on a cookbook from them. They are like
Thomas
widely.
Keller.
Yeah, Thomas Keller's the
$200 cookbook.
Oh yeah, because
so Californians should skip Thanksgiving, but he can do staff parties.
Pat, there's a restaurant in New York you and Kate should go check out. It's what is it called? It's one of Thomas Keller's. It's part of the French Laundry.
How am I going to get a res?
Is it in San Francisco?
I'm sure you guys.
It's in Napa.
Oh, I think I saw a Thomas Keller restaurant in the third season of Everyone Feed Phil. I think.
That was the French Laundry we went to, and then they had like the sisters on video.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Yeah. You do you, Gavin. The news came less than 2 hours after Newsom strongly discouraged residents from traveling for the holidays. So anyway, some hypocrisies going on. What are you going to do? Everyone play it safe.
Cool. I got one more.
Everybody's going to say, I think everybody does exactly what all these politicians do. They say play it safe, and then they do whatever the fuck they want. That's what
it is to be American.
Yeah,
that's right. I got one more. You guys want to do it, or you want to?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't want to end on that depressing.
Okay, fair enough. This one's better. Guys, before this story, I thought Belgians were only famous for their waffles and beers, but apparently they claim the French fry too. But we all know Americans invented those.
What? Yes.
Yeah.
The Germans are claiming that.
Yeah, Belgians. Yeah.
Belgians.
Belgians and
Belgian
else.
Germans.
No, but there is another country that disputes the French fry with with the Belgians, not
France,
us, which is
perhaps?
clearly us.
Go on, guys. I'm on it.
No, it's Belgium.
It's France and Belgium.
It was a question we
Belgium.
had on the breakfast version of The Dozen with Jeff D'Lo, and we got it wrong, Will. It was Belgium and
We
some
got a
other
lot
country.
wrong, so.
Yeah.
It was France. It's France and Belgium.
Is it?
Yeah. Anyway, apparently they are also famous for breeding the world's fastest racing pigeons. So now, in case you didn't know, the sport of racing pigeons, some say, dates back to 220 AD and involves a bunch of drunk men releasing a specific type of pigeon, the Homer pigeon, far away from their coops, and then they see which pigeon can return home the fastest. They have these little bands on them, and once they cross over the threshold, it measures the time, and then you get the purse. Some of these races are as long as 620 miles, so they take these birds out. The way some of them work is everyone breeds their pigeons at their own coop, then they go release them at a specified location, which is exactly the same distance away from everyone. They release like 20,000 fucking pigeons, and then they find out who gets home the fastest.
Apparently, they just find their way to the same home.
Back to their home. Yep. Yeah, and it can take them like up to like 14 hours sometimes. Sometimes they stop for water, but yeah, like the longest ones takes them like 14 hours. So the guys probably just get like drink Belgian beer and wait for their pigeons to come home. It's a cool sport. It sounds amazing.
Has anyone told Mike Tyson about this?
Oh, I'm sure. I think he does have. I think he's probably already in it. I would say. He loves pigeons, doesn't he?
Oh, he loves pigeons.
So you take the pigeons out of your coop,
Yeah.
drive them to a specified location, release them,
Yep.
drive home, and then just party and wait for them to come.
You have a
Yeah.
plebe
That's awesome.
drive them. You have an intern. Drive
Okay,
them.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That
What
seems
is
better.
the percentage of birds that make it back?
Oh God, I don't know. Not all of them, I'm sure.
No.
But apparently this ancient sport has gotten some new life breathed into it by the Chinese, and the sport is becoming a little more elitist than its working class beginnings. Bubba, you want to play that clip?
The same flying rats we kick in New York have been turned into luxury goods, with pigeons auctioning for up to $330,000 per bird, which has turned pigeon racing from an old man's hobby into, if not the sport of kings, at least the sport of China's young princelings.
So it's big in China. So
When did Vice hire Sam Wexler?
So the big story that
Good for you, Sam.
the reason I'm doing this story is because the big news is that apparently they have these auctions for these fucking fast pigeons. And this year, after a 2-week-long auction for fucking pigeons, 2 wealthy Chinese pigeon lovers going by the undercover names of Super Duper and Hitman got into a bidding war that ended up with Super Duper getting a pigeon named New Kim for $1.9 million. Whoa. Yeah, he paid $1.9 million for this one fucking pigeon.
Must have been delicious.
Yeah, well, it's actually like, so some of these purses now in China are up to like $10 million. So it's kind of like if the pigeon's going to produce, it's a good investment.
Look, this is much better than like them like betting on like a human like sacrifice or like the dangerous
Maybe they
game
could figure out
where you're hunting
yin
humans.
yang
Let them
and
play with
some
the
stuff.
let them play with the
Yeah.
pigeons for high
Is
stakes.
don't
that
mind
happening
pigeon
in
betting.
China, Mark?
I mean, yes, allegedly.
Pigeon betting is not bad compared to some of the other stuff that's allegedly happening over there.
Oh, yeah,
6 years is the lifespan of a pigeon. So that's if you get 6 years of racing out of it.
Well, these can last up to 15 years. This specific breed,
Whoa.
these Homer pigeons, they can go up to 15 years. So I guess the plan is to breed this pigeon with this pigeon named Armando. This is a hen, New Kim. Armando is a famous pigeon that was sold for $1.4 million. So now Armando
Coxman.
fucks. Yeah, he fucks. And congratulations to Super Duper on purchasing New Kim, the pigeon, for $1.9 million. I kind of hope a cat gets it. And
They're studying out pigeons. This is great.
Yeah. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor. Thank you again for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Again, we're on radio live, so call in. What's the number? 855 something?
833-85-STOOL. Something like that.
Something like
Yes.
that. Well, it's on from we're on from 10 to 11 Eastern time on XM Sirius 85 Barstool Radio. So please call in with any questions you might have for us. Buy some merch. Stay safe and have a great fucking day.